Assalamu alaikum, worthy students. This is your teacher Saliha Tabassum. Here I'm going to teach you the next chapter as we have gone through the poem now. This is the chapter in your prose section, Gulliver First, Gulliver and Lilliput Part First and Part Second. We have already discussed in the classroom Gulliver and Lilliput Part First. Now I'd recapitulate the same part so that you'd reconnect it with the second part. Well, coming to the recapitulation process, in the first part of this chapter, I have already told you that this chapter has been extracted from a novel written by Jonathan Swift. The name of the novel is Gulliver Travels, from which these two parts have been extracted. This whole novel is actually a satire. As I've already discussed in the classroom, that Jonathan Swift was a famous satirist. What a satire means? Satire is actually a use of, it is the way of using humor, either in writing or sometimes in saying as well. It is the use of humor in order to criticize. Also, irony is used, or even sometimes exaggeration. Like a writer exaggerates certain things in such a way where satire is brought forth, or a criticism on any particular system. Whether it is a political system, it is a social system, it is a satire on the human kind in general. Or sometimes even a satire is done on a gender. Here in this whole novel, Jonathan Swift employs too many satires. Like, for example, he employs the satire on politics. Like, he criticizes the political system. He employs the satire on women. He criticizes their behavior. He criticizes their, asking for the values and, rights in the nature. And also the satire on science. He also satires the society, or in general the human nature, the stupidity and the absurdness of the human kind. So in this novel, we actually go through all these satires. Well, coming back to your chapter that has been given, that has been prescribed in your syllabus, is the part first and part second, Gulliver in Lilliput, which is an excerpt from the same novel. In the part first, we have already discussed in the classroom that Gulliver, who had been shipwrecked, the ship got devastated, damaged on a sea on the Pacific Ocean, and finally he was thrown up on the island of Lilliputans. Lilliputans were not more than 6 inches tall. They were people having only a height of about 6 inches. They were not more than that. That's why it was very strange for them to see such a giant person like Gulliver on the island. So while seeing him, they were too astonished, and finally they put him under the chains. They tied him with the ropes so that they could finally find out what exactly this giant is there for. But soon after seeing this Gulliver, they found him very harmless and quite gentle. That's why they decided to free Gulliver, and they freed him. But soon after his freedom, Redressal, who was the chief secretary of the private affairs of the country, that is the internal matters of the country, he came to visit Gulliver, who was attended by one of the guards. That is, Redrassil, who was one of the great personalities of the country, had come to visit Gulliver and was attended by a guard. When he came to visit Gulliver, he told him the story of his country. He told him that his country was under a threat actually. But before that, he told him that his country was divided into two groups. As we had already discussed in the classroom, the two groups were high heels and low heels, depending upon the position of their heels. That is, one group was wearing the high heel shoes, on the other hand, the other group was wearing the low heel shoes. So the two groups were high heels and the other group was low heels. These two groups were continuously under the conflict. They usually fought with each other and hardly spoke to each other gently. On the other hand, there was a contrast in the same country. That was that in the same country, a person who was the prince, he was on the both sides. That was, he was wearing the shoes, one of high heel and another of low heels. That gave him a limp. That is, this prince was on the both sides. He was sympathetic to high heels as well as to the low heels. However, on the other side, the government was in the favor of the low heels. That is, the government was from the low heel sides, and that's how the low heels were favored. But on the other hand, in the country, the high heels people were in more population, while as the low heels people were in low population. Because the government was on the low heel sides, that's why they had more favor than the high heels. Many people from the high heels died. It was more about 11,000 people who died, who preferred death than disorder. What was the main conflict in the same country was that they were fighting on a religious principle, that is whether the egg should be broken on the bigger end or the smaller end. When actually Redrassil says that in the script, in the Holy Script, it was written in the 54th chapter that the egg should be broken on the convenient end. However, in the ancient times, the people of the Lilliputians were breaking the egg on the bigger end, which was the ancient practice. But in the previous times, the grandfather of the present emperor, who when was a boy, happened to cut one of his fingers while breaking the egg on the bigger end, which became a tragedy. And finally, an order was issued from the government that the egg should be broken on the smaller end, which became the major issue in the country, as it was a stab on the religious principle that had been practiced in the previous times. That is, the egg used to be broken on the bigger end. And this conflict rose to the point that some of the people from the high heel side went to Bullifusco, which according to Redrassil was another great empire in the universe, one being the Lilliputians and other being the Bullifuscan Empire. The high heels went to the Bullifusco and they attained the sympathy from the emperor of Bullifusco. The emperor of Bullifusco supported them, and finally he posed a threat upon the Lilliputians of the invasion. So finally, this country was under the threat of an invasion from the Bullifuscan Empire, from another great empire. Redrassil told this whole story to Gulliver. Gulliver finally decided not to interfere into the private affairs of the country. However, he said, for the sake of emperor, he would help them in order to come out from this threat, in order to come out from this war. Earlier in the classroom, I had discussed that this war had been going on for some 36 moons. In your chapter, it has been already exaggerated and explained that one moon is equivalent to 28 days, which means that the whole war was going for about 3 to 4 years. So these two empires were in a great war for more than 2 years. Now finally there was a threat of invasion on the same country from Blefuscu. Finally this Gulliver, this redressal chief secretary of the private affairs, asked for the help from Gulliver. Gulliver decided to help. However, he gave a word that he will not interfere into the private affairs of the country. This was all about the first part of this chapter. We'd move towards the second part, that is Gulliver and Lilliput, second part, in which we would come to know that how the war exactly took place. Thank you.